a spark from Travel with Purpose, and I'm with Sam, who's from Chamu Adventures, and she's going to talk to us about what we can do pre and post Pinktarctica. So go, Sam, and just lure us into what this wonderful part of the world has to offer us all.
All right, well, good morning, or actually good afternoon to you folks being over in New Zealand. So I just wanted to give you folks a bit of an insight into Patagonia. It's a great part of the world to incorporate into a South American trip, but it's also a wonderful option for those who are also going to be heading down to Antarctica. And I guess the main reason for that is that, well, bar the fact that it's incredibly beautiful, also it's geographically quite close to Antarctica, and in order to get to Antarctica it's necessary to head down to this part of the world. So I guess I always go by the philosophy, if you're going via that place, you may as well check it out. Good enough excuse, as they say.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? And I guess you just have to look at the pictures to get a really good idea for why it's worthwhile. So Patagonia, a lot of people confuse Patagonia as a country. Patagonia is a region, I guess a loose term for a region located in the southern parts of South America. It forms a triangular shape from Puerto Montt across to I'm just trying to remember the name of it, the Peninsula Valdez in Argentina, and it heads right down to the very tip of South America, down to Ushuaia, the tip. So it covers over 1 million, the region of Patagonia. And how Patagonia, I guess, is a region, and a lot of people confuse it as a country. However, it is the southern wilderness of South America. So it starts from Puerto Montt in Chile, and it crosses into the peninsula of Argentina. And you've got two areas of Patagonia per se. So we've got northern Patagonia as well as southern Patagonia. And today I'd like to give you some insight into southern Patagonia. So we were just having a little look before, a few little facts on southern Patagonia. This area covers over 1 million square kilometres. And it's a lot of space, isn't it?
Wow, yeah.
It's just absolute raw wilderness. So we're looking at mountains, we're looking at glaciers, we've got icebergs, fjords, as well as phenomenal wildlife. We've got the puma down there, as well as several foxes, let alone the sea creatures that you'll find, or the sea life that you'll find around the fjords and the channels around Tierra del Fuego. But really importantly, when you're heading down to Patagonia, the time to go is something that you need to take into consideration, because you'll encounter different seasons quite drastically, seeing as it's so far down south. So from September, generally you'll find that most of the hotels and lodges are opening, and spring is, although it's colder than the summer months, it's not as windy as the summer months. So it really heats up during the summer months to so we're looking at the same summer period as what we have in the southern hemisphere here. So we're looking at December, January being the peak for the summer season. And then obviously down in Patagonia you've got winter, and that's a great time to go skiing. So incorporating Patagonia into an Antarctic trip, you'll be wanting to look to go there before your trip down to Antarctica. And the main reason for this is that once you've been down to Antarctica and you've been blown away by these huge icebergs, going back to Patagonia is not the best order to see the landscape. So best to see Patagonia
first. That's a really good tip. Yeah, that's a really good tip, because I'd never considered that. And you just thought that, after Antarctica you just go for a quick trip up to Patagonia, do those beautiful walks and stuff. But what you've just said just really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's something that's important to take into consideration. Some can't do it in that way, or in that order. But however, we really do recommend going to Patagonia first and then heading down to Antarctica. We've pulled together a series of itineraries that obviously, as all of TUMU's itineraries, can be personalised, so we manipulate them to suit you or your clients. So it's all manipulative, or you can all be tinkered and tailored. However, I've put this one in, so I wanted to talk with you folks about Patagonia Express, and I guess this one just incorporates flying into Santiago and then having to make your way out of either Punta Arenas, which would include a fly cruise option to get to Antarctica, or alternatively taking a cruise from Ushuaia. So this one is tailored towards those who are going to leave from Ushuaia down to Antarctica. We fly from Santiago into Punta Arenas. So this flight, you're looking at about just over 3 hours to get down there from Santiago. And the important thing to remember is that going down to Punta Arenas is the only option from Santiago, unless you want to go down to Puerto Natales. However, the times to get down to Puerto Natales is not as frequent as what it is down to Punta Arenas. Also, getting down to Ushuaia, you need to go from Buenos Aires or from El Calafate. So Chile doesn't fly into Argentina, and Argentina doesn't fly into Chile, and that's something really also that you need to take into consideration when heading down to Patagonia and doing an Antarctica cruise. Alrighty. Now, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of information about the region of Patagonia as well, so I'll go back to this slide. So Patagonia is actually home to, some of the continent's oldest human inhabitants. The first European to discover Antarctica was Ferdinand Magellan, and I guess you'll probably find that quite interesting, as a lot of the fjords and channels, etc., around in the area are named after the Portuguese navigator. The Europeans head down to Patagonia. The attempts to colonize the area were pretty miserable at first. However, in the early 19th century, the Chileans and the Argentines got a strong foothold, and from there we see the introduction of a very strong ranch culture down in the area, and they're the real foundations of Patagonia. So when you go to Patagonia, you'll see these old estancias or ranches, as we call them. However, today a lot of the region makes its money with oil, as well as with commercial salmon fishing, which I thought was really interesting, as well as tourism. So, and tourism is an important part, and obviously people go down there because it is just this beautiful, vast wilderness, and there's so much to do down there in terms of trekking and going to see this beautiful part of the world. So, just a little bit of a background.
So Punta Arenas is like quite a big city.
Punta Arenas is one of the main hubs. It's the main hub of Patagonia in southern Patagonia in Chile. You've also got there, which is a little bit further up, Puerto Natales, which is also a main hub in Chile. However, Punta Arenas receives a lot more traffic, and I guess main reason for that being because a lot of cruises down to Antarctica fly into Punta Arenas. The only way to get into Punta Arenas is to fly, or you can take a vessel from Punta Arenas as well. So it's tricky to get into Punta Arenas from Argentina, and that's why many people will fly and arrive there from the beginning. Also, you can fly and arrive in Puerto Natales, or you can fly into El Calafate from either Buenos Aires or from Ushuaia. So just remember that this part along the southern area here belongs to Chile, and then from there it's part of Argentina. And so flights between the two countries is can be problematic, but we work around it to make it work. So flying into Punta Arenas, so Punta Arenas is a port city, and it sits on the shore of the Magellan Strait, and this is where a lot of transfers will take you to the beautiful Torres del Paine National Park. So this is, I guess, the icon of Patagonia. It's located in Chile. It's a national park that's, I guess, the outdoor adventurous lolly store, in that you'll find cascading mountains, glaciers, lakes, a whole variety of wildlife down there, and there's many options in terms of accommodation. Most people going to Torres del Paine National Park will decide to stay inside the national park or on the frontier at various accommodation options that we have. And the main reason for that is just logistics. If you're going to go there, you may as well stay there, and then you can do excursions into the park from your hotel. So such excursions will include treks, they'll include guided tours, wildlife spotting. You can go horse riding, you can go bike riding down there. You don't have to be active.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's stunning. You've got these 3 little peaks here, and this is where the name gets, the park gets its name from. So it's called Torres. So Torres in Spanish means the towers, and so you've got these 3 tower points here, which is where the park gets its name.
Yeah,
and you need to rug up because it's at the end of the earth. But the excursions from the different hotel bases are phenomenal. So I've just included a few different accommodation options here. Hotel Las Torres in Chile, I guess, is one of the examples that I wanted to bring up, in that it originally was a ranch. So this Croatian immigrant decided to buy a ranch down in the southern parts of Patagonia, and it's Hotel Las Torres. So it was a family-run ranch. It's inside the national park. It's our superior accommodation option. So you're looking at about 4 stars. They've got horses there. They've got organically grown food, barbecues of an evening, as well as a whole bunch of activities. And it's very popular for those who want to have that traditional experience. So
that's beautiful.
It is. It's stunning. I've got a little picture here from inside one of the rooms. So down there, they call the rooms that they have, they call them cipres, which is, I guess, a series of how can I call it? There are a series of rooms that are grouped together in different allocations. So you'll have a different view depending on which cipre you're staying in, but they've all got spectacular views over the park. And the bar also has just got a stunning view.
Wow.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to leave the bar.
It's great to come home from a day of activities and have your after ski, as they call it, in the alpine regions. Yeah. So Las Torres is a great option. Also down there we've got Tierra Patagonia. So Tierra is a 5-star option. It's not located in the national park, but it's got stunning views over the national park. A famille that we sent to Patagonia earlier this year in September, which Meg was on actually, went down to Tierra Patagonia, and down here you've got this sweeping view of the park. So you can see Las Torres, you can see the towers peeking over here, and here you've got a real a la carte menu for activities. So you meet with a guide of a morning, you chat about your day's activities, and off you go in a group. So you can go horse riding, you can go trekking to the base of the towers, you can go trekking around to the other side of the lake. It's just, as I said, it's an outdoor adventurous playground. And Patagonia is one of the high-end options, or Tierra Patagonia is one of the high-end options we have for there. We also work with EcoCamp. So EcoCamp is also located on the frontier, and there's a series of different domes that have been set up on eco principles. So you'll stay in a dome, and of a morning they've got a yoga dome, should you wish to participate in the yoga activities. And then they've got set departures with set activities that you can choose from depending on your tastes, I guess, and how much you want to push yourself to go and outdoor and explore. And it's, as I said, it's based on all of these eco principles. So you've got a variety of different of domes. You can stay in the superior dome, or you can stay in a standard dome. So everything can be tailored to according to your budget as well. So from Torres del Paine, northbound, we've got Bernardo Higgins National Park, and there's 2 glaciers to see there. Both of the glaciers, I guess, just form part of the many glaciers that you can see down in Patagonia. However, on this particular trip that we're talking about, we have got the Balmaceda and as well as the Serrano glaciers. And in order to get up close and personal, you need to jump on a vessel. And these glaciers are just huge. Apparently, the sound of when you can hear them moving sounds just like thunder, or yeah. I can't remember the word that someone used for it, but it's just, you can hear it echoing in the valley. So some of them are up to 60 meters tall, which is just huge, and they go for kilometers. So in order to access this point, we've got a few different hotel options, but the one that I really wanted to bring up, and this is located outside of Puerto Natales, we've got the Singular Hotel. So this hotel was used for industrial purposes, and they've completely transformed it into this high-end luxe hotel, and the food here is just phenomenal, but the view also out over the lake is quite spectacular. So there's so many different options. It just depends, I guess, on whether or not you want to stay in the town of Puerto Natales, or if you'd like to stay outside of the town. But the options to get up to the park and to see the glaciers are many. All right, so after seeing both of the main highlights of the Torres del Paine and as well as the glaciers on the Chilean side, and that's another view we have there from the Singular Hotel. Is
that ice? Is that ice outside the door?
It looks like it, doesn't it? Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I guess it's the end of the earth, so it gets cold down there. You need to rug up well, bring lots of layers.
Yeah.
So from here we cross over into Argentina, and getting across to Argentina, the main highlights would be the national park, or the Glacial National Park, and the main hub for seeing the main glacier is El Calafate, which is a little town located just on the outskirts of the lake. So this is El Perito Moreno Glacier. It goes for something like 5 kilometers up into the valley, and it's 60 meters high. And you have a day trip from El Calafate in Argentina to see this glacier. And it's a real highlight for many people. Now, in terms of accommodation, on the Argentine side, we have the Iola Lodge. So this Iola Lodge is located in the middle of nowhere in the vast wilderness. It's an all-inclusive program, so it's got a very cottage, homely feel. They've got horses located at the lodge, and you can go out and do all kinds of adventure activities from there as well. Alternatively, we've got the La Cantera Lodge located on the Argentine side, and this is more of a superior option, so that's a step down from the Iola Lodge. However, we've also got standard options as well. So looking at Patagonia Express as a snapshot, we've got a total of 8 days with 7 nights accommodation. This also includes your transfer, so to and from the national park, your accommodation into to the national park on the Argentine side into El Calafate. So what you really need to do in order to get down here is take a flight from Santiago down to Punta Arenas, and then when you want to head down to go to Antarctica, you take a flight from El Calafate down to Ushuaia, and that flight's about just over an hour to get down there. And it works out to be a great little trip incorporating both the Chilean and the Argentine side, and then finishing up in Ushuaia and able to take off from Ushuaia down to check out Antarctica on your cruise, on your expedition cruise. So depending, I guess, on what sort of options you're looking for in terms of accommodation, the Torres del Paine National Park is an all-inclusive option, and getting in there, when you're staying in there, we suggest this because you can't really go in the middle of the national park and find a supermarket to go, or a random restaurant. So
you become a hunter.
Yeah, go hunting those pumas. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. So we've got all-inclusive options. So this is all included. And then obviously heading across to the Argentine side, if you wanted to stay at the Yola Lodge, then that's an all-inclusive option. Staying at the Singular Hotel is not an all-inclusive option. So I guess just chatting with your destination specialists about where you'd like to stay and how you'd like to experience will give you an idea for what is and what isn't included and where you want to, how you want to go about that. And then from there, it includes all of your breakfasts, so on a bread and breakfast basis, which is included in all of our trips. If you didn't want to do an overland arrangement, there's an alternate option for getting from Punta Arenas down to Ushuaia, and this one is the Australis Cruise. Have you folks heard about the Australis Cruise, getting from Punta Arenas to Ushuaia? Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, great. So the Australis Cruise, there's quite a few different options. You can start in Punta Arenas and make your way through the fjords and channels of southern Patagonia to arrive in Ushuaia, or you can start in Punta Arenas and finish in Punta Arenas, or you can start in Ushuaia and finish in Ushuaia. Typically the cruises are 3 nights or 4 nights in duration, and you've got a fleet of Zodiacs, so you can go out and get up and close to the icebergs and nature abound. And so I guess the main points of interest that you would see on the cruise would be the Strait of Magellan, as well as the Beagle Channel, Cape Horn as well, which is where you've got the meeting of the 2 seas, and you've got, you know, phenomenal glaciers and the national parks, and all of the experts on board are experts in the local geography, the local history, as well as the flora and the fauna. So you can expect to see a lot of sea life as well, such as penguins, seals, dolphins, and then obviously you've got these phenomenal cascading mountains. All right, how are you doing there?
Yep, good, thank you.
Good. So this one is, I guess, a highlights of Patagonia. There's a bunch of several other trips that we do in Patagonia. You can do just the Torres del Paine National Park if you like, or you can head across only into El Calafate and then head down to Ushuaia from there if you wanted to incorporate Buenos Aires into your trip. So it's all flexible. However, I guess the main region to explore in Patagonia, or the real highlight, the icon, as we mentioned before, is definitely the Torres del Paine National Park, and then around from there. Yeah. So, did you folks have any questions?
So, ideally, if you were to do an ultimate tour in conjunction with the Pink Tartica cruise, would you recommend the overland, the Patagonia Express, and then do the Antarctic cruise, and then maybe go up to Buenos Aires for a few days?
That's exactly how I would do it. Yep. Start in Santiago, fly down to Punta Arenas, and then do the Patagonia Express, and then you'd fly from El Calafate down to Ushuaia, and then make your way from Ushuaia after the cruise back up to Buenos Aires. Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, that would be a great way to do it, and it also means that you don't have to take a return flight from Buenos Aires, for example, down to Ushuaia, and you can incorporate Patagonia into your trip. And you've got the option, to do it in reverse if you'd like. But as I mentioned before, it's best to see Patagonia before you go down to Antarctica.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull you up. There you are.
So Sam.
Yes.
So if the Patagonia Express is about 8 days, and our cruise is what, 12 days? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's 12. That's 20, and so it'll end up being about a 3.5 week trip. If people were wanting to do everything, the best of everything. Yes.
A 3.5 week trip. Beautiful. You can even look at, and then obviously you've got to take into consideration your flights down there too. So 12, and you'll probably want 2 days in Buenos Aires, if not more. There's a lot to see and do in Buenos Aires. You've got tango.
Can we see your pretty face again?
Oh, yeah, sure. Where are you? Can you see me now?
No, not yet.
Okay, let me just minimize this and I'll see. I can bring that one up. Hello?
Yep. Now we've got you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So
in my eyes,
realistically, to do everything, in a leisurely pace, people should have about a month.
including your flying times, yes, and also to see Santiago and Valparaiso. I think it's a beautiful circuit, really. You know, starting in excuse me, in Chile, and then in Santiago, and going down to see the UNESCO town of Valparaiso. It's not really a town; it's more of a city, but it's beautiful, facing out onto the Pacific Ocean, and then from there, flying down to southern Patagonia to do the Patagonia Express, as we just discussed, and then we've got the Pink Antarctic cruise, so heading down to Antarctica or Antarctica for 12 days, flying back up to Buenos Aires, and then you've got 2-3 days in Buenos Aires, and then you could take a return flight home from Buenos Aires, and that would be a great way to incorporate all of the highlights of Patagonia as well as Antarctica, and you've got the major capitals of Santiago and Buenos Aires there. So it's...
And you finish off spending your money shopping in Buenos Aires, eh?
Yeah, it's a great place to stop, isn't it? Because you can load up on all your goods at Buenos Aires, all your leather goods and whatever else you want. Get your dulce de leche. Yeah, go dancing too. Go drink some great wine. That's something else to mention about Patagonia. You know, the cheeses and the wines, particularly the Chilean wines. Maybe I'm biased, but I do prefer Chilean wine to the Argentine wine. You know, sitting by the fire after a day of excursions, looking out over the mountains and drinking a glass of wine.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Seriously, can you get better? Yeah. Let alone using the spa facilities and, you know, so it's,
sounds pretty awesome.
A great trip. Yeah, great trip. And I guess the landscape just really says it all. Really says it all. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So Sam, we'll just get people to register their interest for Pintarctica, and then we'll just give them some options of what they can do. If people don't have a month that they can spare, but they can spare, you know, like 2 weeks, would you just recommend that they just do Pintarctica and then a few days in Buenos Aires? And if they can spare, you know, like 3 weeks where they could do the Patagonia and the cruise and then come home.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you could do that. Yep. Flying into and out of Buenos Aires, and then down to Ushuaia from Buenos Aires. And exploring Buenos Aires for the first option. So if they had the 12-day cruise and then they can spare a little bit of time, then Buenos Aires definitely is a great option. And then if they had a little bit more time, then the Patagonia Express would also be great before the Antarctic cruise done.
Alternatively, say that's it, going for the month and do the whole lot.
And realistically, the only way, I guess, to get down to Antarctica is to go via Patagonia. So if you're wanting to optimize, you know, the time that you're over there and the fact that you're in the same part of the world, then it's a great opportunity to see the wilderness of Patagonia. It would be one of my dream trips, that's for sure.
Okay. Okay, well, I think we've given everybody a lovely taste of what is possible. So thank you so much, Sam. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we let people go away and get really excited about this incredible journey?
I guess if you're going all the way, then all the way over there, because it's not a short flight. Unfortunately, in Australia, we're forced to take this flight. But if you're going all the way over there and you do have the time, or if it's something that you think you might be interested in, have a great look at it, or have a serious think about it, because it's the vast wilderness. It's the right time of year to be going as well. You know, the Pink Antarctica trip leaves on the 18th of November. And so heading down from there it's the perfect time to be visiting Patagonia as well.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, so it ties in perfectly, really. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, well, I think we'll say bye. I feel that we've whetted everyone's appetite. I want to say thank you, Sam, for taking the time out of your busy day to share what you've shared with us, and I look forward to seeing people on our great trip. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, Dylan.
Okay,
no problem.
bye.
It's a pleasure. Bye.